Good morning, this is Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Friday the 22nd of September. Interesting movements in the US market yesterday where leading indices, they closed just a few cents or dollars above the key support levels. S&P 500, 4,328, closed just a couple of cents above. We are in a downtrend after gapping down here, no question about it. The RSI is in bearish sentiment, but I think we will see a little bit of a correction up today. And so I think we will hold this support here for now. But when we break it, which I believe we will, then we are in a bearish mood also on a bearish trend also on the weekly chart and thereby the medium term. We can see here just very quickly that we are bouncing a little bit back up here on the future and the CFD. Nasdaq 100 also closed just above after gapping down below 100 moving average. Could see a little bit of correction, but I don't think we will close this gap here. We are in a bearish sentiment and very close to break a bearish also on the weekly. Just talking about the Dow Jones this morning, also very close, 34,029 support right here. That is key on the short and medium term. Moving on to the Asian market, interesting development here this morning on the Seng. Very strong bounce off previous low here from August, 17,573, almost bang on, forming this bullish engulfing candle here, taking out the past couple of days of bearish market, really strong move. And I think we will see a move higher here in going into next week. Towards the 18,500, but the big question will be, can it actually get back above this falling trend line and above the 19,000? That's what is needed for getting back to an uptrend. DAX testing support this morning, just opened a few cents below 15,482, but as we speak it is back above. So really key here today and going into next week, can it actually hold and bounce back higher? We are in a downtrend, but this could be crucial here the next couple of days. And let's just have a quick look at what the futures and the CFD says. More or less the same picture, basically the same picture here, dancing around the support level. On the AX, actually closed just a few cents above, dipped up below, just closed just a few cents below the support at 730, dancing around also. We are in a downtrend. Could see a little bit of correction higher, but we are in a downtrend also in the medium term. So Netherlands stock market looks fairly heavy, to say the least. Whereas the Belgian markets, I would change the range to say this is the range. So between 36.30 and 37.30, that seems to be a sideways range where we were trading in for Belgian market. So look out for these levels for direction. The CAC 40 testing the lower rising trend line in this triangle-like pattern is not very perfect, to be honest, because we had this false breakout here, but still keep an eye on it. But the key support is 7,082. That should be Euro dollar downtrend looks very stretched. For a second day, it's dipping below a 106.35 support. There is some divergence now a little bit on so we can remove this one on the RSI, indicating that this downtrend is weakening. It's very stretched and it is ripe for a correction, but I haven't seen it just yet. But if we get it, we are talking about 107.60, possibly up to 108 before I think we will have next sell-off mood kicking in, because we still have these moving averages. All of them are now declining, 55, 100, and also now 200. Well, slightly flat, but it's starting to tilt over but it's really a strong support. So I think it will hold, even if we close, if we're closing a few cents below. I still think we could see a bounce there. So really something to look out for. Euro sterling still moving higher. And I think we will see a move up to 87 here the next couple of days, also a little bit higher. I think we'll move up to around 87.35, where there's some strong resistance that should be observed. It has potential up to 88, but I'm not quite sure we'll get to that level. Cable, sterling dollar, moving lower, took out the 123 strong support and key, testing this falling trend line here. And these two lines down here, they are parallel shifted from the upper falling trend line. So it's just to give you an idea and a guidance of the trend and potential support levels. But cable seems to be on course to 121.75 support. We are in a downtrend also on the weekly. If we hit it down there, we will see a correction back up to 123, maybe a little bit higher before the next selling wave. Dollar yen, quite volatile here on the peaks, but it is moving higher also this morning, and I think we will see a move up towards 149, 150, where there's some strong, I wouldn't say strong resistance, but we have the 161.8 retracement of this correction here, and we also have the 161.8 correction or projection of this sharp correction here. So 149, 150, I will say we are looking at the dollar yen. On euro yen, still range bound, so not really much to say there. Aussie yen, it corrected almost down to the upper falling trend line as we talked about, and now we are moving back higher, and I think we will break above the 95.85 resistance level this time. I don't think it will be rejected, but let's see if it does. If it does break above and closes above, you need a closing above, then there's room up to 98 as a minimum. Sterling yen, on the other hand, in a bearish trend with some strong support at 180 around this level, 180.20, 25, where we also have the 100 moving average coming up, but we are in a negative trend on sterling yen. Finally, when we're talking FX, Aussie dollar sideways range, I will say. I actually thought we will have a bit of a upside correction here, but it seems to be caught in a range between 63, 60 and 65 and a change. Dollar index trying to push higher. It has room up to 105.80, so let's keep an eye on that, but it's really stretched at the moment. We are ripe for a correction, but I don't want to call a correction until we break below 104.35. There is room up, and then I think we'll get that correction. Gold spots still caught in this range between 1900 and 1946, 1950, I would say, and I think we'll be caught in that range for at least another week before we see a breakout, but keep an eye on those levels there. Silver, on the other hand, bounced off strongly and is currently trying to get back above the cloud here. I wouldn't call an uptrend until we actually get back above 24. I think we will test this 61.8 retracement here just around 24, but there is some strong resistance, and we have seen it turn around previously. In the bigger picture, it seems really range bound between 22 and 25 and a change. On the weekly, we can see that it's underlying a bullish bias there. But it needs upside traction. Maybe this is the time, so keep an eye on, can we actually get back above 24. Copper had a very volatile day, or 24 hours, I would say, dipping down very close to test previous lows here from August at 362.70, bouncing back strongly. Can it get back above? We still need to get back above 382 for upside momentum, and it's still in this triangle-like pattern formation here that we should keep an eye on. Brent crude Still in the correction phase, still believe we could see 90.62. WTI, same picture, very close, was actually very close to the 38.2 retracement there. We could still see a correction down to test the lower rising trend line here and the 61.8 retracement. But then I think we will see upwards move. So it's still up in the air. Whether it will be a small one or be a larger one. Yields. US 10-year yields reached 448 actually, and a little bit higher, almost 450. We are actually 450 today, and I think we could move higher going into next week at 455, which is the 161.8 projection of the latest correction here. Then it is probably be a little bit stressed, but there's no divergence on the RSI, so that's actually confirming the uptrend, and we could potentially move higher in coming weeks and months on the Treasury yields US. All right, that's all for today. I hope you will have a nice weekend when you get to there. Until then, happy trading.